8 years ago, I was talking to my father, and I asked him a very important question. I thought he had the magnum opus of answers. He had always been a confidant, a horrible parent, but a great friend to me. And I asked him, Dad, when does this get easier? There's got to be a point in life where everything makes sense, where you feel like you're an adult, where you're doing everything, your bills are on auto pay, and then everything makes sense. You're mentally stable, physically all right, and everything's good. And then he said, look at my friend over there. And his friend was drinking, pouring him back. His friend just went through a divorce. His friend was 42 years old. I said, oh, okay, what about him? And then he said, ask him how his bills are. So I walked over to him and said, hey, man, very curious. Are your bills on auto pay? Are you doing good financially? He looked at me, laughed, and said, I'm going to hit big tonight. He had 3 lottery tickets in front of him, hoping that the ages and dates of his children were going to bless him through the grace of God. He was petitioning God right now, right in front of him. And as I watched him lose and him say, oh well, and grab another beer, and then go out to the back to smoke a cigarette, I said, what did this teach me? I didn't know what it taught me. So I went back to my dad and I said, okay, I don't know what I was supposed to learn from that. Doesn't make any sense. He said, do you think he's happy? I said, I don't know. I didn't ask him. He said, go ask him. So I went back out to the smoke area. I said, hey, this is going to be a strange question. I said, are you happy? He said, I'm alive, aren't I? I said, I didn't ask that. I said, are you happy? He said, well, another day. You know what I mean? I didn't know what he meant. As a matter of fact, I was really confused, so I went back to my father. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know how to interpret that. I didn't know how to take this information. I looked at my dad and I said, he said that he's alive. And then my dad looked at me and said, well, I am too, son. Woo! And my dad chucked back a Long Island iced tea. And I think that's one of the better conversations I've had with my father about life. I really do. Because later that night, when he was drunk as a skunk, buying people things inside the bar, wasting his money, not on his children, but on people that barely knew him and would forgive him immediately, I said, does it get easier, Pops? He said, it doesn't get easier. You just get stronger. And despite him being in a drunken stupor, despite him always having a charismatic nature about him, I knew there was sadness behind that statement, but a truth so ever present. This world is not easy. You can't inherently find a purpose immediately. You can't find a career. You can't find somebody to love you. As a matter of fact, you can't even find the correct milk in the grocery aisle. It's horrifying. You can't even find the item you're looking for when getting help from an employee. He's confused too. He doesn't know the store. He just works and stalks things. He doesn't know anything about that area. It's Walmart. This place is big. He doesn't know what's going on. So, you accept it. You accept that life is hard. But are you going to get weaker and let it beat you down is the real question. Are you going to think to yourself, well, it's hard, so might as well just give up everything. Well, I got bills to pay. I'm about to get evicted, and it's horrifying. And my girl just left me, and she cheated on me, and a pizza roll just burnt my mouth. And by all means, I just twisted my ankle going up the stairs. And it's ice outside, but I don't have salt, so I can't get to work. And I'm late for work because my car didn't get charged last night, and I got an electric car. And my friend said he could let me use his car, but his car requires gas. And I didn't get the chance to go and actually fill his car up with gas, but he said I could use it. And then I used his car, and I got into a car crash. And it's a bunch of tragedies going back and forth. And do you just give up? At some point, you gotta tell yourself, man, this is ridiculous. You telling me nobody's having an easy time with this? There are some people that have an easier time, yes. Some people that are blessed with advantages, maybe height, maybe money, maybe genetic advantages where they have pretty privilege. But that's also a curse too, because if you're pretty, you can't tell if all your friends want to sleep with you. They're friends with you because they actually like your personality. Who knows? Some of you may have issues with your weight where you gain weight sporadically. There may be a glandular problem. Who has no idea how that operates? Some of you may have too much cellulite, bad teeth because you never were taught younger to actually brush them, and the dentist costs too much. Maybe you have bad health because you had horrible role models. And it's not easy for anyone. I was talking to my friend one time who I thought had an easy life. He had both his parents in his household, and I thought to myself, wow, seems like he had it easy. He had a 2-story house and a finished basement. That's the height of luxury to me. He always had the newest systems and games and things of that variety. And he said, as I was over there playing his PS3, he said, Man, I really wish that we could have family dinner. I said, you guys don't have family dinner? He said, my parents are too busy at work. I'd like to talk to them. His parents worked very hard, and they argued a lot. And his parents barely ever slept with each other, ever, because they worked so much. Very opposite schedules. All to raise that one child, him, just to make sure he had a good life in the future. And I don't know if they loved each other deeply, but it felt like they did. But he was getting the brunt of a different kind of parenting style. It's different for everybody. You can't equate the horrors and ease of things to people because everybody experiences everything differently. If you punch me in the face, more than likely I could take it. You punch another person in the face that's never been punched in the face or had their jaw wired, they might not be able to take it. Who knows? My ears were messed up so deeply one time because all I kept doing was fighting. It was horrible. It sucked. I hated every second of it. But I felt strong because I felt stronger and I got used to taking a punch. I learned how to take a punch. You gotta learn that. And life is gonna throw bunches of punches at you. It's gonna throw fists of fury flying at you, knock you out, beat you down, annihilate you, step on cracks, and you're a mama, so it's breaking your back. It makes you feel like garbage all the time. It doesn't feel great at all. It's gonna feel like trash. You're gonna feel like filth. You're gonna feel like you don't want to get out of bed most days. You're gonna feel like maybe 5 more minutes turns into 30 more minutes, turns into an hour, turns into I'm calling off work, turns into I can't pay rent, turns into I'm hungry, I'm gonna DoorDash, turns into I'm wasting money, turns into everything, turns into destruction, turns into despair. But it doesn't get easier. You never truly at any point will feel like you've achieved adulthood. There's no second puberty for that. When you're a kid to teenager, there's an apparent difference. Your head grows into your body. You learn how to walk. You learn how to speak. You might learn a second language. Maybe you'll learn a little bit of Spanish. You'll get a whole group of friends that may be there for the rest of your life. You'll discover so many different things. So much happens from 0 to 18. That's basically the most important years in most people's lives. Those are the formative years. Decide what you might want to do. Decide who you might want to become. And you can reinvent yourself from 19 to 35. 19 to 35, oh, guess what? You're an adult now. You got to make your own puberty. And most people don't know how to do that. They don't know how to take a step back and create their own cocoon. You know what I love about caterpillars? They make their own cocoon. They make it themselves. They evolve themselves into the butterfly. They get to the next step. That's what happens. It's beautiful. They know inside their body it's going to happen. But there's no second stage after that. You yourself have to tell yourself, I'm going to make a cocoon. I'm going to study what I am. I'm going to be introspective. It's the journey of infinite self-discovery. It is beautiful. It is the great, amazing, quiet battle with yourself. Whether you hate yourself, whether you hate the way you look in the mirror, whether you hate your weight, whether you hate your teeth, whether you hate your hair, whether you hate your height, whether you think everybody hates you, whether you don't like the way you walk, whether you don't like the way you talk, whether you hate the way your mouth is shaped, whether you hate the way your elbows are, whether you hate the way you pick up things, whether you wish you were left-handed or maybe you should have picked up a second language, maybe you should have been kinder or sweeter or softer, maybe you shouldn't have said that thing in that meeting, maybe you regret every decision you've made, maybe you don't know what to do next. But I don't know what I'm going to be tomorrow. But today, I'm going to be amazing. That's how I make a video every single day. That's how I get my thoughts out, put on a page. That's how I believe in myself, despite the fact that I don't believe in myself, despite the fact that I believe in myself. It's a contradictory battle, because every day, I have to struggle with someone who wants to not be here. Every single day, I have to deal with negative thoughts. Not just from people online, but from myself. And I have to conquer myself every single day. I have to wake up every day and tell myself that I'm going to make it and do it. And that's tough. That's draining, but it gives me something to do. It gives me an activity. It alleviates my boredom to fight against the negative thoughts every single moment of my life. It alleviates what I am because I know that this is a struggle for everybody. It's not just me. I'm not unique. I'm not the only person going through this. There's a bunch of people going through this. And they all need help. But firstly, they need themselves. They need to be able to reach out for help and reach out for people. Because yes, it doesn't get easier. But you getting stronger, you believing in yourself, you tying your bootstraps together. Oh, pull up your bootstraps. Oh, you're doing it. Wow. You going to work when you don't want to. You helping out when you don't need to. You taking care of the temple that is your body, putting good things in it. That's the first step. That's ground zero. And you may feel as though this instant gratification of going to the club, the nonsense, the pointlessness of it is something great for you. You may say to yourself, yeah, I just like going to the club because, whatever. It's whatever. What is the point? What do you gain by doing that? Nothing? Nothing? You're gaining nothing by doing that? You're gaining nothing? Yeah, you're gaining nothing, and that's good. Makes you feel good to drink. Makes you feel good to waste that money on the weekend. It's fine. And that's not going to make your life easier. It's not even going to make you stronger. But sometimes you need recreation. You need those video games. You need those art supplies. You need to be able to take a second and look at what your hobbies are. I know what my hobbies are, but not everybody knows that. I got a message on Discord 3 days ago asking, I'm 32. What do I do with life? How did you discover so fast? You seem like you live so many lives. 32-year-old. I'm 28, by the way. 32-year-old asked me that. That reinforced my belief that nobody has a specific age where things happen correctly. There's no correct age to start. You're not too late. You're not too early. You're Goldilocks. You're just right. You're just right where you need to be. And I'm sorry about that. Who knows what trauma is going to push you into the person you are? Who knows how you're going to get broken into the person you need to become? I don't. I have no idea what it's going to take. I'm not you. I don't know the small pieces of your life that piece everything together. But I do know if your heart is broken, if your brain is broken, if everything's broken within you, it's a puzzle. And you have to make a complete masterpiece with all the pieces that are shattered around is what you must do. It's not easy, but you get stronger. You have to find things to make yourself stronger. What is it about you that you would change? If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? All right? Very common question. A question to pick apart your insecurities. A question that looks deeper inside of you. If I could change one thing about myself, I would want an extra pair of arms. Maybe then I could write with 2 hands. But I'd make sure my other set of arms, I'm left-handed. I would ask for 8 nipples like a dog. That'd be pretty funny. I think it'd be pretty cool to have that. I'd ask for an extra mouth in the middle of my stomach, so just in case I don't want to eat anything going through my mouth, I can put it directly in my stomach. Maybe mouths on my hands, so I can sneak food into meetings. That'd be pretty fun. If I could change one thing about myself, what would it be? I wish I was shorter to make it harder on myself. Maybe then I can get into college for free. That'd be funny. That'd be a cool little event to do. I would enjoy that deeply. The question has been posed to a bunch of people, a lot of people, many even. If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? And you may be typing in the comments, well, I would change this, I would change that, I would change this. I wish I didn't have BPD. I wish I wasn't mentally ill. I wish I didn't have autism. I wish I didn't have that. Nope. That's boring. You don't want horns? You don't want wings? You don't want the ability to fly? You're changing things that can be worked on about yourself. You can't change your height, obviously. But you gotta deal with it. You can't change your height, work on your body. Get tougher, get buffer. Like a little big meat nugget. A little big meat bodybuilder. You wish we had better hair? Shave it. Put a tattoo up there. Or wait for it to grow. Learn how to take better care of your hair. There's YouTube tutorials. There's ways to fix this. There's ways to be better than what you are. And it's not easy. Oh, it sucks. It's horrifying. It hurts every moment of the day. It feels like trash, garbage. Oh, man. My leg hurts thinking about it because I have this bad nerve issue where I stand up too straight. That's why I walk forward a little bit more, and it messes me up, so I have to stand at a specific angle, and it makes me feel like garbage. It just hurts deeply, and I don't know how to really deal with it. I haven't gone to the doctor about it in quite some time, but it does feel bad. It does genuinely feel bad, and I naturally have to deal with this every single day. And there are days I wake up, and I feel like absolute filth. I don't want to get up. I don't want to make these videos. I don't want to put up my green screen. I don't want to eat. Oh, that's the worst, when you wake up and you don't want to eat and you're looking at the food and there's nothing appeasing in the fridge. But you know what makes it a lot easier? Someone else. Someone being there. Even if that person is a future version of yourself. When I lived alone, it was very difficult for me to reach out to my friends for a long time. Because I would wake up every day, I would jog, And that was pretty much my day. I would jog, I'd go to work, then I'd make a bunch of videos. I did this for doing this for a while. Made a bunch of videos, and then I would do nothing. Just a bunch of nothing. I wouldn't try to hang out with people, but I would talk to myself all day. I would just talk to myself. That was it. It's very horrifying. I didn't eat correctly. I didn't do things correctly. I just tried to work out because I felt like if my body was good, I'd be fine. My mind was getting destroyed and withered away. So I looked to a future version of myself, and I spoke to him. And it was delusional for sure. Oh, it was deeply delusional. It made me feel crazy and psychotic, but it helped. It helped me be here. It helped me be a person. It did. And then I found people that wanted to be around me. I found them online, on Discord, on Facebook, on Instagram. Then I found her. And she was beautiful and still is. She lives with me and I love her. I'm happy to be with her every moment of the day. She makes it easier. And my friends make it easier. My friend Zach, who may never see this video, he makes it very easy. My friend Dorian, who I haven't seen in quite some time, despite the fact that I think he's a little bit strange sometimes and a little bit provocative, he makes it easier. People around you, the people, the interpersonal connections, even your family could make it easier. Your mom and your dad, despite any grievances you have with them, and I say to yourself, if you have bad relationships with your parents and they don't want to fix it, that's on them. But they're half you. Half of you is them. You're half your mother and half your father. They came together to make you. They're going to know a few things. I'm pretty sure they've been through this. One of my favorite quotes in American history is from Abraham Lincoln. He said, and I think about this all the time, I am the most lonely man in the world. If you were to take my sadness and disperse it throughout the whole of the humankind, there would not be a single smiling face. He is sad. And that goes to show me that we only hear about the success stories. No one ever wants to talk about the hardships, the bad days, the battles with oneself that feel horrifying and eat away at your soul. No one talks about that. No one talks about how deeply and miserable some of our greatest artists are. No one talks about that. That's why Robin Williams passed away, because no one wanted to talk about the bad parts of existence. It scares me so much. But that is bravery. To be afraid and still do it. To be afraid and move to the next step despite the fact that it's horrifying. That is how you get stronger. You must become better than what you are right now. You must continue to grow to be greater than what you think you are, to become the greatest version of yourself, to be perfect, not in the traditional sense where there is no flawlessness, there is just complete flawlessness within you, there is no shapes in the diamond that get cracked. I'm saying perfect version of you, and the next day you become even better than perfection. You say, I'm doing my best. Guess what? The soccer player goes against a toddler. The toddler tried his best. Toddler has to get better. Obviously. If I try my best at the gym and I can only do 50 pounds, eventually I'm going to be able to do 60. Eventually I'm going to be able to do 70, 80, 90, 100. Woo! I'm going to make it. I'm going to be amazing. But I don't know what I'm going to be tomorrow. I don't know my career path. I don't know what major I'm going to choose in college, what minor I'm going to choose in college. I don't know what I'm going to eat. I don't know what I want to do today. I have no idea what's going to happen in the next 20 minutes. I don't know. But right now, in this moment, right now, stand with me. I'm going to be amazing. I'm going to stand forward, look myself in the eyes, and tell myself that I am going to be amazing. Because that's what I can do. I scream at the void. It screams back. I scream again. We're having a conversation. It feels nice to have someone there. I greet you, darkness. Not my old friend, my current friend, who will always be there, who will always be shadow behind the light existing within me, two halves of one whole, but not even that, even greater than that, 3 halves, 4 halves, 5, 6, 7, 8, until I need as many pieces as I can to pull myself out from any place where I feel like I'm slumped and I've reached rock bottom. But I'm going to keep digging because I need to find what it's like to be at the deepest, darkest part of myself and see if I can deal with it. That is what I will do. I will become great. I am great. The greatest to ever live. The 3 steps of ego. No pride, just ego. Knowing that I'm here. I deserve to take up space, and so do you. Be kind to yourself, because no one else is going to.